Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Police have just released photos of a bank robber who took money from the Moorhead Hornbachers on 40th Avenue South late this afternoon. Investigators tell us the man slipped a note to the bank teller inside saying that he wanted money and that he had a weapon with him. Although he did not show a weapon, the teller gave him an undisclosed amount of money. The robber is described as being between 40 and 50 years of age, white, about 5 feet 10 inches tall and a normal build. He was last seen wearing dark blue jeans, a darker color shirt under a denim long sleeve button-up, and wearing a dark baseball-style hat with a white logo.
I'm pretty shocked, actually. I did not think that this would happen around here. You know, this is kind of a pretty tight community.
Definitely kind of worrisome. I don't know that it will necessarily change my behavior, but definitely my attitude and confidence, I guess, a little bit.
Police tell us the robber took off walking south. They say they don't believe there's any threat to the public. If you have any information, contact Red River Regional Dispatch.
Anybody can drive, but can you drive safely and have your own? Because to me, customers should come first anyway.
Tonight, there are concerns from those who daily ride local city buses. Valley News Live has obtained video from MatBus that shows drivers caught red-handed not following the rules of the road. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero shows you how passengers are being placed in danger.
In our first example, a MatBus driver accelerates to beat a train at a downtown Fargo crossing during rush hour traffic. Reports indicate that a witness would later complain to MatBus. The driver was placed on administrative leave. In another instance, a driver was caught going the wrong way in South Moorhead. You can see as he turns onto a road heading the opposite direction despite signs to the contrary. The driver was disciplined for taking an unsafe action. There's more as this driver slides off a road in Moorhead and comes to a stop just a few feet away from someone's front door. The driver didn't report what happened, but a neighbor who saw what happened sent an email to MatBus describing the incident. The driver was disciplined for failing to report it. Opinions were mixed amongst the passengers we spoke to at the Ground Transportation Center. Some say that they feel safe on a MatBus, while others say drivers can do better.
Yeah, I think the drivers are awfully safe.
Do I feel safe 100%? No. I go 50-50 with that. I mean, you can drive, but if they safely drive the bus? That's my thing right there.
The drivers do a real good job. I wouldn't want to be one, but they do a really good job.
The three examples we showed you were among hundreds of instances where the public filed complaints against local drivers. Despite that, MatBus continues to assure us that they are committed to safety. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
MatBus drivers are contracted through a company called First Transit. We requested an interview with Assistant Transit Director for MatBus, but he didn't respond to any of our calls or emails. An investigation is underway into a suspicious death in the northern part of the valley. Authorities confirm that it's in rural Walsh County. The sheriff's office there says a woman was transported to First Care Health Center in Park River, where she later died at the hospital. The woman isn't being identified, and the area where she was found is considered to be an active crime scene. Deputies say that the public should not feel threatened. Police are asking for your help finding two people. The person in the photo 108 is wanted in connection with a theft case. The other person is of interest in an unauthorized use of credit card and a stolen vehicle case. If you know who they are, contact police. Abusive parents are hopping from state to state, escaping the scrutiny of authorities who may have no idea of their past issues. Our national investigative team has found multiple instances of this happening with deadly consequences. Here's Valley News Team's Lee Zurich with more.
Heaven is an angel in heaven now. She was such a blessing. She always brightened up my day, especially when I was stressing.
A poetic tribute to an 11-year-old beaten to death by her own mother. Heaven Watkins, an innocent girl who loved to sing. ABC. Failed by the federal government, including an agency that ignored the law. Born with a disability, Heaven grew up in Minnesota, where court records show a long history of Child Protective Services involvement, including her mother losing custody. After her 18-month stay with her aunt, a Minnesota judge returned Heaven to her mother. Heaven's mother moved to Virginia. After years of interaction with Child Protective Services in Minnesota, she started over in a new state, leaving behind her abusive history.
So Virginia had no idea what happened in Minnesota.
No. After police say her mother's boyfriend burned her right hand with hot water, allegedly unaware of the history, the state of Virginia returned Heaven to her mother. On May 18th of 2018, a post on Facebook, Heaven Watkins died. Police say killed by her own mother and her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's very hard because for a while I blamed myself because I was like, what else could I have done?
Child abuse experts say things could have been done to protect Heaven. A law even exists, but it's been unfunded and ignored. A 2006 law signed by then-President Bush called for the creation of the National Child Abuse Registry. The registry would allow states to enter names and abuse cases into a national database, giving states the ability to track perpetrators. But the Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, never created it. In Virginia, a state lawmaker is trying to save these kids, innocent children like Heaven Watkins. Virginia's governor recently signed Heaven's Law, which requires officials to check a caregiver's abuse history from other states, going at least 5 years back.
If Heaven's Law had been in place a year and a half ago, I firmly believe that Heaven Watkins would still be alive today.
Orridge says it's all part of Heaven's legacy, helping prevent more child deaths. A little girl who loved to tell a good story, silenced by a mother who slipped through the cracks.
Heaven's mother pleaded guilty to felony homicide. Her boyfriend's trial is set for May. We're learning more tonight about the man involved in yesterday's 9-hour-long standoff in Moorhead. It happened along the 1400 block of 5th Street South. That's where 35-year-old Blake Fitzgerald eventually gave up and was taken into custody on a domestic assault charge. Fitzgerald's family tells us, although he is to blame for the standoff yesterday, they say his ex-girlfriend is also at fault. Fitzgerald recently filed a no-contact order against the ex-girlfriend. Police records say she punched him in the face in mid-March. Authorities released the name of the body recovered on the Red Lake Reservation last week. He's 26-year-old Dylan James Sayers. Sayers was reported missing in late October of last year. His body was recovered during a search east of Red Lake. The cause of death remains under investigation. President Trump is requesting $4.5 billion from Congress in emergency funding to address the large numbers of migrants attempting to cross the southern border into the U.S. This request does not include money for a border wall, which congressional Democrats have refused to fund. The White House is asking for $3.3 billion. That would, among other things, expand the shelter capacity for unoccupied migrant children, provide food, care, and transportation for those in custody, and also fund processing centers at the border. New tenants could be moving into the former Target building in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Some of them are under the age of 5. The Fergus Falls School Board unanimously approving a letter of intent to purchase the building for $1.5 million. The superintendent in Fergus Falls, Jerry Ness, says the nearly 90,000 square foot Target building was available for purchase at significant savings. The building will be used to house the school district's early childhood program. History is being made tonight at West Fargo High School. For the first time in the area, a unified version of flag football was played at the school. This is an inclusive sports program that combines Special Olympic athletes with others that don't have intellectual disabilities. They are able to train with one another and compete in different sports.
We've talked with parents in the last 10 years, and they've been very anxious to someday see their son or daughter wear the same school colors and wear the same school name on their jersey.
Maher says they plan to have more sports games in the future and are now inviting other schools to participate in unified sports.